Hi there, my name's Dr. Katrina McAllister and I'm a lecturer in Latin American Cultural Studies here at the University of Reading, and I'm going to tell you a little bit today about one of our first year modules called Icons of Spain and Latin America, to give you a bit of a flavour of what the course looks like in your first year. So one of the things that I think is really exciting about this module is the way that it enables you to look at a really broad period of Spanish and Latin American history. I like to call it the Whistlestop Tour of Spanish and Latin American history. What we do is we take key events and figures to sort of really shine a spotlight on really pivotal moments of Spanish and Latin American history and the figures that are really famous and celebrated in the Spanish-speaking world, to give you a sense of how history in Spain and Latin America has unfolded from 1492, starting there for obvious reasons, Columbus's arrival in the Americas, right up until the present day. So it's a really good foundation for you to get to know more about the history and culture of the Spanish-speaking world. And in order to do that, we look at specific cultural texts or films or artworks to look at how these historical events are then represented in culture, and we do analysis of those specific cultural outputs, if you like. So now I'm going to tell you a little bit about how the module is taught and assessed. So the module is a blend of a mix of lectures and seminars, and as a general rule of thumb, in a lecture the tutor talks more, and in a seminar the students talk more. That's the main difference usually between those formats. And the teaching blends historical and cultural analysis, so helping you to get to grips with analysing the historical events and periods that we're looking at, but also to learn how to approach the cultural texts, films, etc. that we look at, so that you can really build your skills throughout the course of the module, equipping you then for your further study in your second year and beyond. In terms of the assessment, so on this module, we have an exercise that I'm really proud of that enables you to really, it's designed to really help you understand what a university essay needs to look like, which is obviously something that is fundamental to your studies. And so what you do is, in your first term, you submit an essay for us. Okay, so you have a stab at it, you give it your best shot of what you think a university essay is supposed to look like. But no student knows exactly what a university essay is supposed to look like in their very first term at university. So you submit that to us, and we look at it for you, we give you feedback, and we send that back to you. And then you improve and edit your essay and resubmit it. And at that point, we give you the mark. And at the same time, you also submit for us a reflective exercise that explains, what you did and how you think it improved your essay and what you learned about, what you need to do for your essays at university. And this students respond really positively to this. In the reflective reports, they talk about all the different things that they've learned about how to approach their university work. And the idea is that it gives you then confidence for writing essays in other parts of your degree as well. Then at the end of the module, we have an exam to look at what you've learned over the course of the whole module right up to the end. And then another exercise that we have built into the module is a formative group presentation. Formative meaning that you don't get a mark for it, but this is built into the module in order to give you an experience of working in groups. I think that's really important for you in your first year, to have an experience of that while you're getting to know other people on your degree, so that you can have a chance to work together in, it's a low stakes exercise because you don't need to worry about getting a wonderful mark for it, because we don't give you a mark. It's just a chance for you to really get to know some other people on the course, and also for you to get to know kind of what we're looking for and get more familiar with the topics. So here I'm just going to show you a sample exercise of the type of thing that we might do in a seminar, for example. So this is a film poster from our topic on globalization in the Hispanic world. And so what we ask you to do is, you'll have seen the film by this point, but we're reflecting on the representation of the film through its poster and the types of audiences that it's targeting and the way in which it sort of communicates a language of globalization. So so I put some questions there to help you kind of reflect on it. So you'd think first about how we get a sense of the global from this poster. You'd be looking for the visual elements and the way that it's put together. And then you're thinking about the expectations that this generates of the film. And then also thinking about how this fits within our understandings of film more broadly. Does this look like a typical Hollywood film? Okay, so what you would do normally with this would be to then have some discussion around that, and then we would come back together and share our thoughts, and then we would map that onto the conversations that we'd already have had in the class at this point about our more theoretical understandings of globalization. So what I'm trying to show you here is how you get like a concrete example that you can then map onto the bigger questions that we're discussing in the lecture and the seminar from the module, but you've got then something concrete to tie it back to help you understand and work through that. Hopefully that's given you a bit of a sense of what this module's about, and also how we approach the way we structure your studies and how we think about what you need at different parts of your degree, and how we can deliver that both in terms of our assessment and the subject knowledge that we provide for you at different points in your degree. So I'll be very pleased to hear from you. We've got the general email address there for languages@reading.ac.uk, but I've also put my own email address on there. So as I said, I'm a lecturer in Latin American Cultural Studies. I'm also the program director for Spanish. So that means if you've got broader questions about the Spanish degree program at Reading, I'm a good person to get in touch with. And our social media is there as well if you'd like to follow us on any of that. Good, okay. Take care, and looking forward to seeing you and getting to know students next year.